So the way to recognize that you're in this old style of thinking, like you just now started to say, because it's going to be my question, how do you know that you're in denial if you don't see it? So the things that you say anytime I'm emotional or angry, or how do you know?
Jealous, even sometimes despair is such a killer of spirit.
And then what do you do in that moment? Okay, you're feeling angry, you're feeling that person's wrong, you're feeling I need to be right, and you might even take a moment to recognize that, but what can someone do in that moment to shift the direction?
Well, there's another thing that I teach that I call matching energy. And I call it an emotional law of the universe. And whatever you're feeling, you're sending. And even if you get very slick at covering up how you feel, and maybe you say all politically correct, nice words, but you really think, God, that person's a jerk. I can't stand them. The person's going to know you think they're a jerk. And they're not going to like you. They do not necessarily know you think they're a jerk. They're just going to feel not liking you. They're going to want to get back at you. So the great news about this matching energy thing is it's the opportunity to grow up. And just recently, a client of mine was telling me, and she was so sweet, she's saying that she was driving along and she went a little bit unconscious and she cut somebody off by accident. She didn't mean to, she didn't see them. She cut them off, and he said, and this guy started screaming at her, swearing at her, gave her the finger, and she said, I just gave him a peace sign because I didn't mean to. And she said, I'm sure he's got unconscious sometimes and made a mistake. And she said the look of shock on his face when she gave him a peace sign in answer to his finger. It was, and I said, well, you just did matching energy. And you did the mature thing. You did the thing that takes work to do. Because if somebody sends you anger, it's like a magnet. And it's going to look for wherever you're off so you can match with it. It's a magnet. It's going to cause you to match. And you have to be conscious enough, selective enough to say, ooh, I feel like biting their head off. But I have the power in this moment to do an incredibly transcendent thing, and that is change the energy. And if I have compassion for this person, know that they're being fearful. Ruthlessness, by the way, is always a sign of weakness. It's all, it's dominating and arrogant, so people think it's strong, but it's not. It's weakness. It's psychological weakness. It's emotional weakness. It's mental weakness, because it's taking the violent, whether it's just emotional or verbal or physical, it's taking the violent way to smack out the problem rather than mature and grow from the problem. I used to have a radio show called Trust the Problem, because whenever you have a problem, which is also an answer to your question, whenever you have a problem, the universe has conspired to say you are ready to grow in this area.
There's your opportunity.
Here's the opportunity to have a whole new vision on what you think this problem is and how you will solve it. And in the process of doing that, you will change how your brain works, you will discover new things, and you will become more powerful. You'll become more clear a person, and more responsible, more able, more capable. And so it is a constant journey of self-reflection. And another thing that can happen is when you notice you're angry. And you're the one that wants to bite somebody's head off. And see, you have to remember, the reason people scream in road rage is because they're scared. And they're either scared because she cut him head and he almost could have hit her, and so he got scared.
So that, you mean like a little
adrenaline.
cortisone?
Adrenaline comes shooting out, and it converted to anger, because he isn't conscious about making it just power to use to be alert, to change the situation. And she took it and converted it, and he felt it for a moment. Now what happens when you do that, when you match energy at a higher level, and you give the opportunity to people to change, they will either change because they'll match back at you. And many times people will say to me, oh, I'm so sorry I was rude, I'm just having a hard day. Over and over it happens, because I just hold it for a moment and don't buy it and send back goodwill.
Don't buy it.
I don't buy it. And they get, shocked. and sorry that they lost it. People want to be loving. They want to be smart. They want to be conscious. They want to have real friends. They want to have lovers that really love them. They want to be a lover that really loves. They want to be a parent that really loves their child. And this is something we all have to work on, because our immaturity as a species is not fully developed in our humanity yet. Our brains don't work particularly well. They go to simplistic fight or flight because that's how all the other mammals behave. That's the lack of consciousness. So when you develop a conscience or a consciousness, you are reflective of your own reactions and the energy you create in the world. And you claim the power you have to be a transformer, to be a radiant, luminous being and change the energy. This is an awesome power. And it's, I believe, what Jesus meant when he said turn the other cheek. He didn't mean be a doormat or a victim. That was just the interpretation of the black and white thinkers, because they couldn't comprehend. How could you not get angry or fight? Doesn't mean you can't be firm. Doesn't mean you can't say the truth bluntly. Always say the truth with kindness. It's amazing you can say more truths more accurately when your intent is kind, because the person doesn't need to build a barrier.
They
can
hear it.
feel that you care about them, and you really are offering them insight and power, and not condescension or I'm better than you because I know this and you don't.